Hey guys, welcome to Mine Time. This is part 2 going over what I bought for my 3080 RTX rig, which the parts are still on the way. We'll be building it soon. But a lot of people asked how much did it cost and what was in it and that sort of thing. And so that's exactly what we're going to go over today. Because before the answer was, I didn't know what I spent, and now I do. And I really hope I don't regret it. Anyway, so first let's start going over the list. So the case is a $200 Hydra VII ultra wide 6U case for 13 GPUs. I really like this case. You've probably seen it in the previous videos. I've used it for some different things. Let's see here. Let me pull up a listing for it real quick. Everywhere I can see they're out of stock at the moment, but this gives you a quick idea of what it looks like. It fits the 13 GPUs across the top. You can put 14 fans in it. For this, I believe I'm only going to need 7 on the intake, and but I guess if it doesn't stay cool enough, I'll have to either turn those fans up or purchase some additional ones. But these cards do run pretty cool. Here's a couple more pictures for you in case you're interested. It has these racks that the GPU sit on. And the motherboard mounts to the bottom there. And here's where all your ports come out with an on-off switch. And it mounts 3 PSUs in the back through these holes here. It's a pretty cool case. I have used it before. All right. So now for the motherboard, we're doing the ASRock H110 Pro BTC Plus. So this one is basically made for mining. It can support up to 13 GPUs, hence why we're using it. For the SSD, you can use pretty much anything, RAM as well, as long as it's compatible. Those aren't the biggest, most important things. We got a low-end CPU, since that doesn't matter as much. A Celeron G3900, less than $50 for that. So the PSUs, we have 3 1600 watt PSUs. Let's see here if I can find them. There we go. All right. So we have 3 of these, each one producing 1600 watts. We're going to have the 13 GPUs split up 3 different ways. 4 GPUs on each, and then 1 with a 5th GPU. And the other 2 PSUs that don't have the 5th, one will have the motherboard, CPU, etc., and then the other one will have all the fans on it. So then things are evenly divided. Now, some people are going to say, you're not honoring the 80-20 rule of the PSU. Once the GPUs are undervolted, the draw is less, and it should be honoring that rule during the majority of the time. This is a little difficult situation because all these powerful GPUs are drawing a lot of electricity, and trying to find the best way to do it is a little bit difficult. But this is the solution I've come up with for the time being. Now, with this, if you were to copy this, you need to pay attention to your home's electricity, because all 3 of these PSUs are going to trip the breaker if you put them on one circuit. A 15 or a 20 amp circuit, I don't think would handle all 3 ongoing. You might get it for a few minutes, but you're bound to trip that breaker. All right, so for the fans, we got the high-fine 120 millimeter, 200 cubic feet per minute fans. These things are pretty powerful. They're the ones that'll cut your fingers off if you let it. They can also be very noisy as well, especially when they're on high. Okay, so now we have a fan hub to control our fans and their speed. The way that this one works is all of our fans plug into this, and then the cord plugs into our motherboard. We're going to use software side controllers to control that fan speed based on the temperatures that are being read by the GPUs. So if the GPUs are getting hotter, we're going to increase the fan speed in the case. If the GPUs are running cooler, then we're going to decrease that to reduce electricity use and decrease the noise. We have power splitters, which are just allowing us to split up our power cables to have enough for our GPUs. Risers to connect the motherboards to the GPUs. Pretty generic for those. I got a small little Wi-Fi adapter, nothing special, just for network connection without running a cable. Let's see here. We have 24 pin connectors for the power supplies, and what these are doing is your motherboard tells the power supply, hey, turn on when you turn on the unit, and it only has connection to go to one power supply. So this is going to split that and allow that signal to go to all three power supplies. That way they all turn on together. So now's the good part, the GPUs. I'm sure you've already looked ahead and saw that I paid a lot of money for these GPUs. I paid scalper prices because I'm impatient and I don't recommend it, but it's what I did. I'm sorry, and don't tell my mother. Please. Anyways, so these GPUs, they're not all the same because they were picked up from different places wherever I could find them due to the shortage. So these GPUs varied in price between $1,170 and closer to $1,400. Now, these GPUs retail at, I believe, $800. So if stock were normal, then I could have saved $400 on each of these, and that would have saved roughly $5,000 overall. Our total after tax is $19,317. Like I said, if I got these at the MSRP, then that would be about $5,000 less, making this a $15,000 rig. With that being said, there's probably a few places you could save some money on this that I didn't, but a lot of it is due to the availability of parts right now, and also that, like for instance, the case. I want a nice clean case, a server center kind of looking thing, as opposed to, the normal GPU rig mounts that people use. Allows me to have better control of the airflow, the aesthetics. It blocks it off from more nature. I plan on having this running in my garage, so I don't want dust and things just getting to those cards. However, with this case, I'm going to go ahead and adapt a filter in front of the fans to keep some of the dust out, etc. All right, so now that we've established that I'm absolutely insane, let's figure out how much money this is going to make and how fast our ROI is. So I have done some studying on the 3080 RTX. I have one running currently, and I am able to overclock the memory by 1500 megahertz and cut down the power usage to 75%. And that allows me to get much better ratings. So going back to what's a mine, with my 13 cards, I put 1300 megahash per second. It's actually slightly higher than that because we get 102 per card, being a little conservative. And then for wattage, the GPUs will use 3300 watts. I put another 100 there to account for fan, CPU, motherboard, etc. So if we go ahead and calculate this, with a 10-cent electricity cost, this is going to give us a profit of now $60.80 per day. I ran this a little bit ago, and it's fluctuated slightly since due to the ever-changing price of Bitcoin. So let's go back to our spreadsheet. We got our costs of $19,000. Let's go back to our P&L. So when I ran this earlier, it was $68.82 income per day with an $8.16 electricity cost per day. That leaves a profit of $60.66 per day. The system cost was $19,000, and the ROI based on those numbers is going to be 318 days. Now, like I said, this system was very expensive. If we had paid regular price for those cards, in fact, let's see what that would be. So let's go ahead and add a line item that's negative $5,000 just to reduce our cost to bring it down to $13,900. And let's see how that affects our ROI if you were able to get these cards at a reasonable price. So that brings the ROI down to 230 days, which really isn't bad in the world of mining. So if you have a way to get those cards at retail price, God bless you. Anyways, this has been Mine Time. I can't wait to bring the next episode to you. Hopefully we'll be starting the build and seeing what these things can do. With the holidays, the shipping's a little delayed, but hopefully everything will be here soon. Wishing you all a happy 2021, and good luck with your mining ventures. Thanks.